Hello, everybody. This is Ian Beckles, and welcome back to In the Trenches. It's not a Victory Monday. It's actually an Agony Tuesday. Our Buccaneers don't get it done last night. They are playing on Monday night. They're 2-0 against a 2-0 Philadelphia Eagles team. First of all, you have to applaud the Buccaneers in Week 3 to be playing one of the key games of the week. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's Week 3. You're playing at home Monday night. You know, I played here in Tampa Bay for 7 years, and I never played a game half that important on 1/3 of that stage. So those guys are blessed to be in that situation. Now, you lose 25-11 to a Philadelphia Eagles team who, after watching from my vantage point yesterday, if the Bucs play them 10 times in a row, I'm not sure they beat them more than once. And I'm giving them that one. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are a better football team. They're a more established football team. Everything was better for Philadelphia. And it's one game, I get that. But they got it together. Philadelphia has it together. They game planned the shit out of us. Facts, okay? Go watch the blocking schemes. Some of those offensive blocking schemes I've never seen before. They knew we had big plugging defensive linemen. They were just quickly reaching our defensive linemen with their quick linemen, pulling everybody else, and there was big, fat, gaping holes everywhere. If this Buccaneer defense doesn't stop the run, and the first 2 weeks wasn't bad, but you look into the last 8 weeks of last season, they didn't stop the rush that well. If we don't stop the rush, we're not that good defensively. We have to stop the rush, period. We can't let people rush for 5-6 yards of carry against this Buccaneer team because we're not good enough rushing the passer. We're just not. We have to make people one-dimensional. In order for us to get sacks, we have to make teams one-dimensional, all right? So during the game, I'm on my phone writing down notes of all the things happening, so I like to write down positives and negatives. In the first couple weeks, the positives were, unlike rows and rows. There's not a whole lot of positives from that game yesterday. And I'm going to listen to some sports radio already today, and everybody's crucifying Baker Mayfield. I'm not. I didn't see anything Baker Mayfield could have done to help that team yesterday. Did he play well? No, he didn't. But they didn't play well around Baker Mayfield. Once again, I said this in the last show. Everybody was ready to make Canales a head coach. Tell you what, the scheme doesn't look that great when it doesn't work, does it? Right? It just looked elementary. But that's what happens when there's no success and you're playing against a football team that's more talented than you are. And the Philadelphia Eagles are more talented than the Buccaneers. Okay, we all know that. We're not going to debate that. So, last week, in that victory against the Bears, Buccaneers had 34 rushes and 34 passes. You don't get no more balance than that. You win the football game. You're not going to be able to do that every week, obviously, okay? Some teams are not going to allow you to run the ball 34 times. I think that's the equation for the Buccaneers to win. I don't know if the Buccaneers are going to win a lot of football games where they have to throw the ball 60, 70% of the time. I just don't think they're built that way. And I think you understand what I mean. They got an early stop on that 4th and 2, which I think that was it might have been an option. We did a great job in getting that stop. You thought there was going to be a little momentum. And it just after that, there was some drop. There was a missed early throw to Tompkins that could have been a big play. We have an Evans early drop. Evans had a touchdown drop as well. Let me say this, okay? On the drop of Evans, a big drop. It wasn't a great throw at all. Okay, I give him a 4 on the throw. That's Mike Evans, though. Mike Evans got to catch that damn ball. If the ball in the pass, if the ball hit Mike Evans in his hands, it was his. Okay, he's one of the more sure-handed receivers I've ever seen. Buccaneers sure-handed receivers. I would put Mike Evans top 3. Keyshawn Johnson would be up there. Okay, he wasn't a Blazer, but if that ball hits his hands, he owned it. Mike Evans has always been that guy. Lately, there's a little bit too many drops. And I'll be honest with you, right now, I think Baker may be looking at Mike a little bit too much. I want to say there was 10 targets yesterday, 5 catches. Godwin, to me, seems to be a better target. To me. Now, I'm not there watching the film and seeing, who's a primary wide receiver, but to me, I think you got to get Godwin more involved, all right? I'm going to be very nitpicky today. I'm just telling you, okay? Because I'm a nitpicky type of guy. And even in wins, I like to nitpick, all right? So let me finish my positive list because it's not that long. That kid Gaines, number 96, I believe it was. Well, he was ragdolling Kelsey a little bit. Okay, I saw him doing a little something. Vita Vea is not healthy. He's not. Whatever the hell's going on with Vita Vea, he's not his same self. He looked very sluggish. I don't know how much of the game he played, but he didn't play his normal self. And they were getting pushed around yesterday on the inside. We got beat up pretty good. The name of this podcast, In the Trenches, we did not win in the trenches yesterday on either side. All right? I'm not sure which side played worse. Then, Jake Camarda, okay? That boy good. I don't know what the hell his average was, like 58 yesterday. He had 2 inside the 20. That's a bad boy. No, but I don't want my punter, my place kicker getting my MVPs. That's a bad man, though. He's put us in some pretty darn good situations early in this season, so keep your eye on Jake Camarda. All right, that's all I got for the positive stuff. Let's get to the negative stuff, all right? Where do I start? Obviously, too many mistakes offensively, okay? Baker Mayfield made a couple bonehead decisions. We're going to see that again, people. We're going to see that again. The only problem is this Buck team is not really built to make a lot of mistakes. They're not built that way, Some teams are built that way. Some teams can throw 3 interceptions and still win the game. The Bucs. The Bucs are not built that way. You know that. You've watched a lot of football. Too many drops. Okay, you got to help Baker out a little bit. All right. And listen, I'm not a Baker Mayfield fan. I'm just evaluating and looking down the way. After the second week, I heard people talk about re-signing him. Oh, let's give Baker that money. You shitting me? After 2 mediocre games, put 2 more of those poopers out there, and then they're gonna be yelling for Trask. Okay, so this game this week, boy, I tell you what, that is, you mess around and win the game. It kind of gives you a little room to, you can never relax, but it gives you a little room to falter. You lose that game, then look at the rest of it. The rest of it's going to be a bear. Now, Aaron Rodgers' season is officially over, but yours has just begun at MyBookie. NFL, college ball, and a brand new cash-out system give you options to bet and win all season long. Say the first 2 legs of your parlay hit. Cash out early and place another bet, or let it ride for a chance at that bigger payday. That's what we all want. Join us at MyBookie for an entire season filled with daily odds, boosts, same-game parlays, and huge prize pool contests. Right now, MyBookie has a no-strings-attached catch bonus that lets you deposit and withdraw quickly. Use promo code INTHETRENCHES on your first deposit of $50 or more, and you can receive up to $200 in cash instantly credited to your MyBookie account. That's In the Trenches to claim your own cash bonus right now. You can be anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie. Okay, let's get down to the nitty-gritty from now. Now I'm really throwing some blows, all right? I don't get Rachaad White. I don't get it. Oh, my God, you see? I don't get it. I don't know how many years you've been here. I ain't seen it. What I see sometimes, I look and I go, who is that? It's always Rachaad White. He don't hit the holes, people. He don't hit that hole. Sometimes there's a hole and tip, and he's kind of tip-tap. No, man, hit the damn hole. I don't get it, okay? I don't know if we have much else, but, I mean, he's middle of the road at best, okay? I just don't see a lot of special stuff. I don't. And stop putting the damn ball on the ground. You put the ball on the ground one time as a running back, you didn't have a good game. I don't care how many yards you had. And it wasn't a pretty thing. It really wasn't. I could probably do a half hour on JTS, Joe Tryon-Schwanka. The funny part, in the past I've been critical of a couple players. Barrett Ruud was one. I didn't think he was a very good football player. Actually, he wasn't. Nobody else saw it. I thought Gerald McCoy was an overrated football player. Everybody liked him. They didn't like to hear it. The funny part is I don't hear anybody really defending Joe Tryon-Schwanka. Not really. Every time he makes a play, every single time he makes a play, we got to hear about how potential blase. I'll show you 4, 5, 6, 7, 12 plays yesterday, and he didn't play that many damn plays, okay? Looked like he didn't want to be there, dude. He didn't want to be there. I have one play on my phone. I was videotaping on the television. He's rushing. Lane Johnson's a great tackle, okay? I don't give Lane Johnson his love. He's rushing Lane Johnson. He spins. And he just spun in a place. He didn't spin upfield. He just spun. And Lane Johnson would kind of look at him and put his hands on him like, what you doing, young boy? Yeah, I don't get it. They're game planning against him. He rushes up the field. They're running underneath him all the time. Yesterday, I saw a tight end just grab him, ragdoll, and just dump him on the ground. He plays the same position as Micah Parsons. He plays the same position as Hutchinson from the Lions and Bosa. Can you ever watch a game that Bosa's in that he doesn't make a difference? Come on, man. That experiment to me should be done. Don't put him on that field. Yaya Diaby, way better. Way better. Give him more reps. Give that young, he got some dog in him. JTS ain't got no dog in him. And if he was in this room, I'd go, you're dogless. You are dogless. All that chance to make some plays, you don't do nothing. You got to show me a dog play, dog. And don't give me that jump off sides, jump the count, I got a sack BS. Run over somebody. I'm tired of hearing how athletic and long you are. What have you done? I'm the one. I'm the one saying it. And I don't give a shit. Because nobody else is really saying it. No, they ain't real with it. I'm being real with it. Can't play. And it's too deep in the experiment for us to think it's going to turn around. JTS can't play. He can't play the game. Sorry. And I'll put my name on that one. My name is on that one. Let's go down the list. Devin White played his ass off yesterday and played poorly. I can see he ain't right. Okay? When he got the interception, ran out of bounds right away, I'm like, what? Because when your defense gets the interception, man, all they practice is scoring touchdowns. When he got the interception, you could tell he wasn't right. I like people grinding it out and playing through injury. I'm going to give him love for that. But he played poorly. They had our linebackers on skates. They had our linebackers guessing wrong all day. There was a couple times where on play action, our linebackers are jetting in there and there's wide open guys. There's other times where he hands the ball off on a draw and our linebackers are running backwards. And I even heard Todd Bowles talking about that at halftime. They had our linebackers on skates. They just didn't know what was going on. And Levante Dave a little bit too, you know? But Devin, that wasn't a good game, brother. I thought he played well the first two games. I like you grinding through pain and stuff like that. And that's part of it. And once again, you showed me you are not healthy by running out of bounds. Well, you got to be smarter than that, okay? I do a podcast with Derek Brooks. Sometimes Derek Brooks was out there at 50%, but you have to be smarter than that. You have to make better decisions. We didn't look like a very smart football team yesterday, unfortunately. I've never, ever said I think Tristan Wirfs struggled a little bit. He didn't play great. You didn't hear his name a lot. But every once in a while, I look over and he's not, at left, he's not the same he is at right. He's still pretty darn good. But a couple plays yesterday, and he didn't look right to me, okay? And I don't think I've ever said that before. And I just think he has a standard, all right? Everybody, you have to create your own standard. See, that's the one thing that drives me nuts, that word standard, okay? Yesterday, I'm listening to the broadcast, and sometimes I should turn the broadcast off because it drives me nuts. At halftime, I was listening. I think Troy Aikman was doing it, and Troy Aikman knows a little bit about quarterbacking. And I heard him saying, other than this one play, I think Baker Mayfield's playing well. That's 3 points. You think, could Patrick Mahomes possibly be playing well with 3 points at half? Think about that for a second. They play the same position. So what's the standard? So I think when you think about Baker Mayfield's standard, it's not that high. It's not that high, unfortunately. All right? Tristan didn't play great yesterday. Once again, his standard is wicked high. If Gadecki played if Gadecki ever played like Tristan Wirth did when he was playing poorly, we'd be happy. But that standard, Tristan, I mean, you created it, so that's what I'm expecting from you. Evans you gotta be better, Mike Evans, okay? You're the leader. When you squawk about money at the beginning, people are gonna have you, they're gonna check you. I'm never gonna question your heart, but you had a couple chances to bail us out. A couple of those interceptions and some of those plays, Baker had his tunnel vision on, and a lot of that wasn't on the receivers, but I don't know who to put it on. As a whole, it just wasn't pretty offensively. Defensively, they gotta go back to the drawing board because, when you talk about, being your gaps, there wasn't none of that yesterday. The Eagles found something, and there's a glitch because it was just gouging. And you think about it, they went for it on 4th and 2 and ran the ball, which is very disrespectful, okay? And, there was a couple situations where they could have scored more points. We didn't stop them. We think that defense last night is going to win anything or take us anywhere. Levante David, I think he said they're going to see him in the playoffs. But I tell you what, you better make sure not lose this game coming up here in a second. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I think we should start shifting to the future, which is Chris Godwin. I just don't know if we should go through a game unless they roll the coverage that way, where Mike Evans should have more targets than Chris Godwin anymore. I just think Chris Godwin's a better football player at this moment. And that's not dogging out Mike Evans, and he's one of my favorite Buccaneers of all times. But I talked this way about Derek Brooks at the end of his career. He wasn't the same player. Mike's not the same player, still a very good player. But I don't know if he's a number one wide receiver anymore, all right? So, looking at that final drive, they just rammed it down our throats, and that's not what you want to see. Fortunately or unfortunately, we're heading to New Orleans. Carr went down with an AC sprain. I think I've literally had every injury in the football book. I've had the AC sprain. It's god-awful. Played probably the worst game of my career with an AC sprain against the Giants, against Keith Hamilton when he ate my lunch 3 times. I don't know if Carr will be back. I really don't. It might be 2-3 weeks before Carr is back. Bring in Jameis Winston. Come on, people. This is beautiful. Come on. This is soap opera type shit. This is good. This is good. Come on. With Carr, it would be cool, but with Jameis, I'm going to say this. I'm on record. Our defense will kill Jameis Winston. I believe that. In my mind, I think they go into that game thinking Jameis is going to give us 3, and we're going to take 3. I really believe that. I don't talk smack just to talk smack. I don't do it. I just don't know if those defensive guys, a lot of whom know of Jameis and played against him, the lore of him, I don't know if they're going to let Jameis win. Now, that being said, Jameis is a prideful cat. Nothing would make him feel better than to beat the Buccaneers in New Orleans. Nothing. If I didn't have a show on Saturday, I might head over there and watch that myself. I think that might be some wonderful watching. So, long story short, Buccaneers are 2-1. We're still not in a terrible situation. We're starting to get banged up a little bit, okay? Jamel Dean went down yesterday. We're already down Carlton Davis. You can't be down too many more defensive backs. You don't want to do that. And I said at the beginning of this season, the Buccaneers are a team that really can't afford too many key injuries, and Jamel Dean is a key injury, okay? You can't do that. Some of the young kids came up and they fought, but there was a lot of cushion, and the Philadelphia Eagles just didn't feel a lot of resistance. There wasn't enough resistance yesterday. So here we are. We're 2-1. Still not a bad situation. And you mess around and beat New Orleans in New Orleans, I don't think anybody could be upset about that. Listen, you laid an egg a little bit last night, but you lost to a better football team. You lost to a better football team. They played again this week. I put money on the Eagles. I just don't think the Buccaneers have that. It can be developed through a football season, but that wasn't a step forward yesterday. That was definitely a step backwards. If anybody wants to hit me up, you can always hit me up on social media at Ian_Beckles. I have some other podcasts as well. Let's hope you're listening to those. And I have one with Derek Brooks now. It's called Brooks and Beckles. I believe it's on all those podcast platforms. So check that out. And let's hope next week I'm on this podcast on Monday talking about a 3-1 Buccaneers and how they beat the shit out of Jameis Winston. Let's hope that's the case. Enjoy your week, everybody, and please be safe. Peace out.